You're listening to Funny Peculiar with Jeff Downs.
So, welcome to another Funny Peculiar podcast. And this week, I have the very wonderful Miss Strawberry Moon. Hello, Miss Strawberry Moon.
Well, hello.
And how are you today?
I'm very well, a little bit hot, but actually very well.
We are in one of the biggest heat waves known to this country. So, and everything's going on at the moment. So, and I've got you down listed and we've got another burlesque performer. So, and I've had a few on, and there's more episodes coming up. So, I'm pleased to have so you describe yourself as comedic burlesque performer, fire tassel twirler, lady pope, and delusional lover of Barry Gibb.
That would be me, I think, in a nutshell.
In a nutshell. And how long have you been loving Barry Gibb for?
My whole life.
Your whole life.
I mean, how can you not love this man?
How can and is that, does it go for all the Bee Gees or just Barry?
No, just Barry.
Just Barry.
Barry. He shines through, doesn't he, Barry?
Is it his particular beard? Because they've all got different facial, or one of them did not have facial hair. Bless them, they've both passed away, and then one had but it's just.
Do you know what makes me laugh? Because there's always pictures of them, and the other two seem a little bit inadequate, don't they?
Yes,
a little bit outshone by Barry.
He does have the biggest beard. He has the biggest bush thing going on, doesn't he? So, and we were just talking there about. You said, do you remember Kenny Everett? And for people listening as well. And because this is worldwide, this podcast, so for people listening, Kenny Everett was an English British DJ over here who was a comedy DJ, and he did a big show called the Kenny Everett, and it was sketch shows, and he did an impression of all the Bee Gees, didn't he?
He did.
And this was this particular sketch. So go and look on YouTube, put in Kenny Everett Bee Gees, and he did the three Bee Gees. He played them all, didn't he?
You have to watch it. It's the funniest thing ever. If you're feeling miserable, just watch Kenny.
Just put Kenny on, and it was brilliant. And I think they're advertising ink, like he's drinking pen ink in the advert. It's just a very, very funny sketch, and they're all the falsetto voices. Oh, anyway, so we got that out of you anyway. So it's like you love Barry, and why not? And why not, dear lovely Barry? So
I do. I've got like a life-size cardboard cutout of Barry.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I do, yeah.
Whereabouts? Yeah. In your house?
Pop him in my living room, thank you very much. Yeah, he's just like my daughter with Barry Gibb. What do you think, Lola? Huh?
Right. So you keep cutting, you're slightly cutting out there, Miss Strawberry.
Oh, hang on. I'm going to have to. I'll go here because the signal's a bit dodgy.
Yes. Get wherever you don't. This is it. Stay in a good place with your Wi-Fi connection. I think that's it. We got you now. This is live podcast interviewing. Anything can happen, especially with Wi-Fi. So I think I've got you now. So.
I'll stay put. I'm not moving.
Stay put. That's wonderful. It's like your Barry Gibb cutout. If you can just stand there for the next half an hour, that'd be brilliant. So you move Barry Gibb around the house, basically.
He goes around. I mean, unfortunately, at night time, he has to go face down. Because otherwise, you do get it. I did try him. Standing. Otherwise, it's a little bit disturbing. You can't get in, and you get a bit of a shock.
You get a bit.
Serial killer in my. Oh no, it's Barry.
It's Barry. It's right. Yes. Sometimes you have to cover. You have to throw things over things, don't you? So I did have actually a prop for this Cirque du Salford thing we did, which is a piss take on Cirque du Soleil, and I found a pink unicorn horse from a motorway garage, and if you press its ears, it makes clippy cloppy sounds. And I thought if it goes off in the middle of the night, it's going to freak me out because it'll be a ghost or some spirit. So I left it in my car. So anyway, there you go. Yeah, we didn't need to know.
No, you have to. You've got to be careful because you think, even though you know they're there and you know they make those noises, they look like that, you get freaked out.
You can get freaked out. So anyway, listen, we're talking today because I've seen your Instagram account and all your clips, and you have wonderful costumes, and you have this wonderful. So you're a comedic burlesque performer. So I've had burlesque performers. So with your burlesque performance, as opposed to the normal burlesque, which will be the sort of the slow undress, the tease, and then the reveal, and then it's off. What do you do comedically? How do you do it a bit different?
Mine's ridiculous. I mean, I quite always like the idea of starting off kind of just really demure, and it's all really lovely. And then, because my octopus act, I do an octopus act.
I love it.
Where where it's lovely, and it's just lovely, actually, and to come on as a lovely octopus,
Yeah.
and it's all lovely and having a lovely time, and it's danced to Under the Sea, it's all lovely, and then I get attacked by an inflatable shark, you see, which then comes in. And it rips my tentacles off, and my costumes end up being too complicated because they're hollow, but then they're stuffed with red bits of material. So when they come off, all this red material goes,
and it just
and it's
that's
all
your
my
blood.
insides, all my insides are coming out. You see, and then it rips all my legs off, and then it rips everything off, and that's basic. So, one might say there's not much tease there. Strawberry,
it's just straight in with Jaws type filmatic violence, isn't it? Basically,
it definitely has, and it does have Jaws music.
It does have Jaws. So where did?
And actually, I know I have to say this, and it also has ties in with Barry. Does have a bit of the Bee Gees coming, you see, because we have Jaws music.
Yeah.
Tentacles come off. I'm beating the shark up. I'm on the floor. You think I'm dead? Oh, Jesus Christ, she's dead. And then it comes in with. Ha 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 ha! Staying alive, and then I'm out. You see, and I'm alive. Yeah,
excellent.
Carry on.
Brilliant. So whatever Barry's always with you in some way. So
Barry's always there. He's with me now. Actually,
he's there now. You must take. Can you take a picture and put it on your Instagram account? And by the way, yes, for people, please do go to Miss Strawberry Moon's Instagram account, which is, and I'll list it at the beginning of the show. It's Strawberry Moon. Miss, isn't it? Or it's Moon Strawberry Miss.
Moon Miss Strawberry.
Moon Miss Strawberry, that's it. So and I'll give all the details, but check out her Instagram account. The octopus outfits on there, and also the foam wigs, and we'll get into that in a minute. So you do a lot of. So your sort of striptease bit or the burlesque bit is not so much the sensual. The comedy is the different outfits. So this one will be a shark attacking you, basically.
Yeah, I do kind of quite a lot of costume reveals because I quite like the idea of having a costume within a costume within a costume, which is why it's just ridiculous because I end up having to bring like a trunk load of stuff, and my costumes get bigger and bigger, and then the hair gets bigger.
and how did you come up with the octopus? What gave you the idea for that?
Well, I think I'm a bit weird because I know some performers will go, I just found this bit of music and it really inspired me. I'm the other way around because I'm quite costume based. Right. I just think, octopus would be good. What'd be funny? An octopus being ripped to shreds and eaten alive. That'd be great. And then I have to work out how to do the costume. And then I think, right. And so I kind of go from that way. And then I try and sort the music out and think, right. And then I get a bit stumped going, Ooh. How am I going to start this? I don't know. Well, we need a bit of Jaws. So I sort of work the other end.
You work that. And who does your costumes? Do you make them yourself?
No, this wonderful, wonderful woman. Oh, she's amazing. She is, I remember her name. Fetish Noir Couture.
Oh, right,
also on Instagram. And she does incredible costumes. She's brilliant. And she's she listens to my insane ideas going, right, this is what I want. How do I do it? And she manages to do it every time. She said, I do get a slight feeling of fear when I get your text messages, but also excitement.
Well, that's what it should be about. So what other costumes have you got then? What else has she made? List off some stuff you've got there.
Well, I've got a pope. She made me like a pope, papal robes.
Right, so that's the Lady Pope. Actually.
So that's the Lady Pope, because for this one, I'm a corrupt pope.
Right, like it. Nice.
Corrupt pope, and I'm on the run from the law. So to escape, I escape disguised as an air hostess.
Right.
And I arrive in Barbados, and I'm just living it up in Barbados. So I'm an air hostess underneath, but this one took a lot of work.
So this one, so just to take us through, so the stage is clear, and you come on dressed firstly as the Pope or as the air hostess?
No, I'm the Pope. So I'm the Pope. My back's the audience. I have giant gold hands that go shooting up into the heavens.
Is that Kenny Everett again?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I think you'll find that there's threads of Kenny weaving in and out of my act.
Brilliant. So you start off in big robes with giant gold hands.
Big race back to audience, and then I've got like a Mozart's Requiem playing.
Beautiful, excellent.
And then gold hands go shooting up, and then I spin round and I've got like sunglasses, fat cigar, and then there's money, and I'm pulling money out of my sleeves, stuffing money in my mouth.
And has the music changed at this point, or is it still?
Oh my God, the music changes are ridiculous. So I'm going to talk you through my musical changes, if I may.
Do you talk me through whatever you want? I'm just curious. Well, I'm just trying to paint a picture of, and obviously everybody, you've got to go and I've got to come and see you now live. I've got to see this. So I want to see what the musical, because I'm analytical. I want to know what the musical changes are doing. So
what the hell happened? So it starts off Mozart's Requiem. So it's all churchy.
Yeah.
It's really churchy, and then I spin round. I'm taking money out. So I'm taking money out of my sleeves. Looking really blah. And then you hear a police siren.
Right.
And then I look at, and then I'm quickly looking around, going, oh God, oh shit. And then spit the money out of my mouth. Sit down just as I sit on the chair, Knight Rider music comes in. So then we've got Knight Rider music, and I'm pretend driving away.
Right, brilliant.
You know when you do like cartoon driving?
Yeah. Fantastic. You're clearly a child of the 80s, like me. So all the references are absolutely so. And Knight Rider, do I need to explain to people what Knight Rider is? A fantastic program of David Hasselhoff, who played was he like a detective, undercover detective? What was he?
I'm not sure. What was he? I don't know.
Man in a leather jacket with a huge bouffant and a talking car, wasn't it? Basically?
What did he do? I don't know. I can't remember.
I never saw a police badge. He just seemed to. Anyway, so Knight Rider music playing, and then so you're pretending to drive. Sorry, carry on.
So pretending to drive, say drive. Then I get out of the thing, and then I'm ripping my crucifix off, and then I'm kind of sucking my crucifix. It's a bit blasphemic.
Love it.
And then there's another siren. Another siren comes in.
Yeah.
And then there's a pause, and I just freeze, going, oh shit, what do I do? Run away, Bruno Mars. And then I do comedy running.
Brilliant, excellent.
So I do a lot of comedy running, and then there's little snippets of this, and then on the end of that, I take the Pope robes off. I leave the Pope hat on, so you can still see I'm the Pope, and then I'm the air hostess.
Yeah.
And then I do a little voiceover bit, going, "Good morning and welcome to Pope Airlines." And I can't remember the rest of that, but so then I'm on the Pope.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. And then you've disguised yourself as an air hostess on Pope Airlines.
Pope Airlines, and basically I can't remember what my talkie bit is.
And there's a talkie bit, and then does it finish then at the end of the air hostess, or do you strip off as the air hostess and go back to something?
I strip off as the air hostess because then it goes, oh, I'm going to Barbados. And
beautiful.
Then again I've got all the money, and I'm chucking the money in the air. And then I end with a fire tassel twirl.
Oh, right, okay. So it all...
Feeling hot. So there's a lot of music changes.
Wonderful.
Which, could you see, I overthink things. And I think a lot of the audience won't get this. But in my head, you see, it's a reference to sin and the devil, fire,
It's working on about 14 different levels, this should be studied at GCSE or A-level, because it's like there's so much going on. So it's like, but I love the attention to detail, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? So when you come up with an idea, music's quite central as well to your performance, isn't it?
It is, because it all has to kind of, because again, a lot of people don't kind of do, I do mine a bit topsy-turvy, I think, because I use the music, use the costume changes. So I'm not very good, but I'm quite a manic person, you see, so I'm not terribly good. I'm not very good at doing classic burlesque.
Yeah, well, I think there's plenty of that. And the thing with burlesque, of course, it's non-verbal. So, of course, you have to try and tell a story. And I think that's what you're doing brilliantly but you're doing it through comedy setups with the music aiding the narrative, as it were. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's what you. So obviously music's a big part of that, and then your costumes as well. So, but let's go back to when all this started, because before Miss Strawberry Moon existed, what were you doing before you were doing this?
God, I've done like a number of things. I can't remember what I was doing at the time, because I lived in London the first time and then moved to Brighton.
Okay.
So what was I doing? I can't remember. I did a bit of fashion styling, so
Okay.
probably where all the costume stuff comes in. And then the burlesque, I just remember years and years ago thinking, oh, let's give it a go. And I did like a course, like a little course up in London to start with, and then I did one in Brighton for Stella Star, and we had to do like a stage show.
Yeah.
At the theatre, and I have never felt fear like in my life actually when I did that, and I was so terrified. It was great, but I've never ever felt fear like that.
So when you first when you did the course and then you had to perform,
The first performance in a theatre.
yeah, and this was your first. So yeah, talk us through that. What were you wearing, and what was your name at that point? Had you come up with Miss Strawberry?
My name. You see, I had to change it because I quite like this name, but there were problems if you put it into Google search. So my name was Pussy Willow.
Right. Okay. So yes. Copyright issues or just general?
I was like Miss Pussy Willow, but obviously we're not always talking about pussy cats.
Yes, of course.
So you put that in, and a whole array of things came up. And I thought, well, maybe that's not the one for me.
Yes. So then you went to, what was after that?
So after that, so I did a few bits, and then I just didn't do anything for ages. And then because I had my daughter, so it was a bit difficult.
Sure.
And then lived in Brighton, and then I ended up doing stuff for Sirens. And again, I think that's what started the comedy thing, because I did like a duo, like a comedy duo with my friend who was very funny. We did what did we do? It was a mummy. Again, it was like epic music. And we did a mummy archaeologist act.
Right.
And and I think that's what really made me think, do you know what? I just need to do comedy.
I'm
actually better at comedy.
And just take us back to when you did your first performance. So you were absolutely, how you were feeling? You were obviously very nervous.
Absolutely terrified. And what I didn't realise, because it was all filmed, you see.
Right.
And what I didn't realise is when you have that level of fear and nerves, I didn't realise that your mouth just dries up.
Right.
Completely.
Yeah.
Like completely. So I'm there with my top lip kind of stuck to my gums, and then I go trying to get it out, and then this is all caught on film. And I also had like a face of fear, like just a frozen face. There was no enjoyment. It was just a tomb face with some fans shaking, quivering fans.
So people are thinking, oh, she's doing really well. She's having to shake those fans, but that was just sheer fear. Basically.
That was actually sheer fear, because I started off in a little cocoon, so I was lying on my back with my knees tucked in.
Right.
And then
what did you have on, like a basque and stockings, a very traditional?
Yeah. So just corsets. So again, it was probably more of a. It was. I was trying to do an 18th century. I'm looking back, thinking, what was I actually trying to do here?
What was the concept? So yes, go on.
Yeah, so it was an 18th century sort of fan dance, and I just remember, I'll never forget this, just lying on the stage, cocooned in my fans. My fans were just quivering because I was so scared, and then the music didn't come on for ages. And in my head I was thinking, I'm going to have a panic attack,
And did the music eventually start?
The music started, and I got up, and I got through it. You see, you get all these performers go, oh no, do you know, the first time I did it, it was amazing. And it was just, no.
No,
it's terrifying.
It's terrifying. And it is, because you're putting yourself right on the line there. So how long did that last for? Was it a 10-minute routine? Was it?
No, they're only like 4 minutes.
Oh, 4 minutes, right, because of the song.
That was only 4 minutes. I mean, I probably would have died if it was any longer. I'd be like stretchered out. Foaming at the mouth. What's happened to Pussy Willow? I don't know.
But thumbs up, she got through with the oxygen mask on. Again, that's always an idea for you. You know, have you ever attempted to be stretchered on or off as part of your comedy act? So that's
that'd be quite funny.
Again, you're into
That'd
props.
Be funny, wouldn't it?
It would. Yeah.
Could go into really dark humour.
Yeah, because you could have like a paramedic over you, pumping your chest. Oh, like stand back, and they do the old hot iron things, and then bang, the music starts with. I'm coming up. Anyway, so listen, we'll discuss that later.
My God, there's no end. Yeah, we need to go out and come up with some ideas. We could do a double act.
We'll do it. I'll turn up Madonna Matrix, because I do a drag idol thing now, so I do Madonna Matrix. So
that would be fantastic.
So we'll have to put our heads together. And so anyway, so so you got through your first. So was that possibly? Yeah, that was your first performance. Was that your worst performance with things, or have you had outfit malfunctions? Have you?
I've
Which
had
sounds like you have.
the funniest one ever, which you could say was the worst, but I kind of liked it because it was just everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. And I was doing everything came off. I mean, not when it was meant to come off.
Not when it was right.
So I did the tattoo convention. This last year. Did the tattoo convention. I did like a cherry. It's called Cherry Ripe.
Cherry Ripe was right. Okay, yeah. So
Cherry Ripe. So
you've got a few tattoos, just to say. So you're a bit of a tattoo fan as well, is that?
No, I don't have any tattoos.
Oh right, okay. You just.
I've no tattoos, but it was a tattoo convention. They wanted like some performers,
and they let you in. They let you in,
yeah,
with no tattoo.
no tats,
All
no
right,
tats.
okay.
I thought maybe I should biro one on. I did feel a bit left out.
Well,
Get
you
my
would,
marker pen on, just smiley face.
I would have just quickly done an anchor or something. Better put something on here.
Just quickly do something.
So
quickly.
Oh, I see. Right, so they let you in. So you just okay. Go on.
Yeah, so I got in with no tattoos, which was lovely. So my Cherry Ripe, I have a bustle.
Right.
It's all sequined. There's a bustle hidden underneath. The whole premise of this is I'm trying to pop my cherry.
Ah, clever. Like it, yeah.
So I'm trying to pop my cherry, and it starts on, again, really, really demure. Sorry, you're going to have to go through all the music.
No.
Everyone's going, oh, my God, have we got more music? Yes, you have. You're going to sit through all of it. Thank you. So it starts off with Cherry Ripe. You know that song, Cherry Ripe, do-do-do.
I've not heard of that one. God, is that a particular? I've not heard of that track, or it's just someone that does a song about cherry.
I don't know who does it. It's just called Cherry Ripe. It's old. It's really old.
Right, it's an old. Okay.
And it's almost like opera, and she's good Cherry Ripe. And it's all about picking cherries, and it's all lovely.
Nice. So you're in this bustle red corset thing, and the Cherry Ripe's playing. Yeah.
And I've got big cherries on my head.
Right. Giant cherries.
Giant cherries on my head, and I'm just whirling around. It's all very, very demure. And then the music switches to Beastie Boys, and it goes straight in with "I can't stand this," and then I throw the cherries on the floor,
brilliant,
sort of smash them to the floor, and then I do a striptease, and I've got a balloon. But anyway, what happened was literally, and I do a head spin. You see, so at the time I had like a red bobbed wig,
right,
with the cherries on. So I chucked the cherries off. And then I did like a head spin.
Right.
And I did it a little bit too violently. My entire wig flew off into the audience.
Oh, right. So you did like a 360 twirl, like a ballet sort of whatever spin. Is that what you mean?
No, you know when you stand, you literally turn your head. You do like it. You can't see me. I'm doing it. What do you call it? You literally just spin your head back, like a hair flick. You know how they do the hair flicks.
Right. Just like literally, you're just whirling your head round. Oh, I know what you mean.
Whirling the head round.
No, right.
So I did that, and even though I'd like Kirby gripped it all in, I obviously got a little bit too excited, did it a bit too hard, and the whole wig flew off into the audience. And I was like, and for a split second, I thought, oh God, it's just coming. I was like, oh, carry on. Carry on. And then my nipple flew off.
Did someone grab the wig? Did they catch it? You don't know.
I got it back, so someone retrieved it. Probably one of the kittens retrieved it.
The wig flew off, and then the nipple tassels you start to do, and they've flown off as well, have they?
They flew off as well. Like no wig, no tassels. Like it just literally anything that could have come off just flew off. And then I was just and I was laughing on the stage because I just found it ridiculous. I was thinking, can anything else come off? Yeah, probably. Just be naked on the stage.
And luckily, so the corset held at least.
Well, the corset comes off, you see. The corset comes off. So literally, I was just there with my bare boobs, going, oh.
And you just saw it to the end of the song, did you?
Saw it through. I powered through.
Powered through. There you go. So it's like sometimes that's what you've got to do, isn't it?
Well, you have to, because I just think you've just got to keep going. Because you don't really want to just stand and go, oh no, oh God, I'm sorry. I mean, you just have to just power through.
They'll probably be thinking, well, they won't know any difference. So I suppose the audience are going, well, this is brilliant. I didn't think I was going to... How did she get that wig to fly off? They probably think that's all part of the act. So,
well, a lot of people did, you see, at the end. They were saying, oh, I didn't realise, because I was going, oh, God, the whole thing came off. And they were saying, I suppose because of the music. And then part of me was thinking, oh, I wonder if I should keep that in. Yeah, just deliberately have it fly off.
There we go. So that was possibly... have you had any other... malfunctions with the costumes?
I've had fire tassel twirls fly off, which is a bit of a concern because there's.
So just talk us through the fight for anybody listening as well. So burlesque performers, there's lots of different fan dances, and a lot of burlesque performers will have the tassels, the nipple tassels on. And I have seen a couple where they're... so normally the tassels of burlesque performer will obviously twirl them round. Now,
yes.
You can, but you have ones which are on fire, which sounds immediately dangerous to me. So how do you start by doing nipple tassels, and then where do you get into? Explain how you get into ones that are actually then lit and on fire.
Well, I just remember seeing it on YouTube because there's various people who've done it for years, and I just remember thinking, wow, that is like amazing. And then I have a thing of I just want to be able to do that. I just see things going, I want to do that. And then found Red Sarah, who is at the fire school in London, and she taught
Red Sarah.
Red Sarah.
And she's a burlesque performer, but specialises with fire. Is that?
She does everything with fire, anything and everything with fire. Okay. This woman knows her fire.
Right. Okay.
So she taught me how to, and it's the weirdest thing because it's really, you think it's fun, but it's the weirdest thing when something is actually attached to your body and it's on fire.
I bet.
So like the first, and you have to remember thinking, I think, oh God, no, can't panic. And Sarah said, just don't worry, because as long as they're moving, they can't burn you.
Right.
So as long as they're moving, so I was thinking, right, I'm never going to stop moving. Because that's the thing.
So what are the, just don't go, sorry, I'm getting all technical now. So to go back to the actual tassel, the bit that is then the tassely bit, is that a piece of material that's treated with whatever flammable stuff?
To be honest, I don't know what it's made of. It looks like a little knot.
Right.
But I don't know what it's made of, and you dip that in paraffin.
Right, okay.
So you dip the ends in paraffin.
Yeah.
And then you literally...
Who lights it?
I do.
Right, okay.
So you light them yourself. So basically, once they're dipped, you light them, and then you flick them outwards, and then you put your hands up above your head, and then you just bounce as you normally do to get them whirling round.
Right. That's the effect. So, but this is... At what point in proceedings of the performance do you then light them? Do you sort of have to... Do you turn your back to the audience and get a lighter out, or...
Well, I usually have a lighter tucked somewhere. So elastic bands are I love them because you can just elastic band a lighter either onto your wrist.
Right.
So it's just there. Or you can have a little stool, like just sometimes I have a stool in case I think, oh no, it might fly off. Or just have it on a stool. So literally you could dance to the stool, pick up the lighter, show the audience the lighter.
Right. So you... Right, so there's no secret you're going to light them. It's not like you turn your back and go, oh, look, these have just come on fire. It's just like, I'm going to light these now. Is that the sort of build-up?
That's what I do.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure other people do it the other way. I think you have to be really, you could probably be really, I don't know, because you have to kind of keep them moving. I'm sure there's people that have done it that way, because that would be quite good.
Yeah.
Like suddenly you spin round and everything's on fire.
It's all there. So you have to then, so once they're lit, that's it. You've got to keep, so you move up and down and it sort of rotates and that keeps them spinning.
So that keeps them spinning. So again, there's actually on my Instagram, there's a slow-mo video.
I thought it's yours. Yes, I thought I'd seen it in slow-mo because I was showing people at work, going, "Have a look at this." So it's like it's brilliant. It looks fantastic. It looks wonderful. So and as you say, you've got to keep them moving. This Red Sarah, was it? Sorry.
Red Sarah.
Red Sarah. So obviously, so it doesn't touch your skin, it won't burn, or as long as it's moving. How long do they burn for when you're twirling?
I think it depends on how, because for me, you can kind of feel it. I mean, when I did it, Red Sarah was saying, well, you're doing it a lot longer than most people. But but then you have...
15 minutes she's been up there.
Hour and a half, she's not going to stop. I can't stop because if I stop, I'll catch fire. So I'm just going to do this for the rest of my life.
And do you put any protection around your skin of that area to like anti-fire or Vaseline?
No, I mean the thing is you can't anti-fireproof your skin. No. If you're going to get burned, you're going to get burned. But you just keep them. I mean, when I first did it, I did get a sooty boob. so you do, and then I was like practicing at home, and then you go, oh, I've got black bosoms, lovely.
So it's like, so you can, so they give off a bit of smoke then, and if you don't get the right
If you don't do it, I think you're doing it really well when you don't have sooty boobs.
Right. For anybody listening, again, please do not try this at home. You're a professional, or you've sought professional help at least to try.
You have to, because it's fire. It's dangerous.
Yes,
Just for God's sake, don't go to Brid Sarah.
Yes.
Or anybody else that teaches it and do it properly.
Is this, how often do you do the fire nipple tassels? If it's asked for, or is it now and again?
Well, I do it because I do it with my Popac. So
Yes.
The Popac's quite popular, but then you've got to be careful because some people don't have fire; they don't have a license for fire.
Oh, right.
So you have to have an alternative as well. So I have an alternative.
Oh, what's the alternative?
It's just normal nipple tussle, but it's a dollar sign.
Oh, I see.
So it's like money. Yeah.
Oh, very good. So I thought you were going to say sparklers or something like that.
It'd be quite funny. Could you imagine having Catherine wheels? That would be quite funny.
There are acts that I've seen that have like lit fireworks out their arses and things like that, but that's taken it far too far. I think there's a Mr. Firework he's called, or something like that.
Is there? I'd be a bit scared about that. I'd probably blow myself up.
I know that would. It's not necessary that's taken it too. So right, okay. So yes, you could do all sorts of things. So right, okay. So you have dollar signs, which is your non-flammable safety nipple tassels, basically.
Yeah, and then I think I changed the music. So instead of feeling hot, 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 it's another Bruno Mars. What's it about? Something about money. She loves the money make her smile.
Oh, like it.
Money make her smile.
Very good. And then we're and all the outfits are all the different outfits you got, but the wigs as well, and you have these wonderful. We were talking the lots of different wigs, and your makeup as well is just unbelievable. I love it. I love the whole look. And it's very drag sometimes as well, would you say?
Yes, yeah. I love it so much. The wigs, I love the wigs like so much. I can't even put into words.
It's the foam ones, but you have lots of different wigs.
The foam ones,
the foam
oh my
wigs.
God.
So where did you get your first foam wig from? How did you get into that?
Well, I saw them, and then I was thinking, because I've always seen the videos, because obviously I lived in Brighton, and they're like Pride, they were just insane. I used to see these wigs, just thinking, I mean, some of them are made by fiberglass, which I didn't realise. I was quizzing all these drag queens at length years ago.
Really?
What's it actually made of then? Where'd you get them from? Can you make them? Probably thinking, could you go away, please, with your questions?
Can you keep asking me? Well, I know, but I do. You just do it. I do millions of questions to people because you just want to know. So you saw all these queens wearing these big foam wigs.
Absolutely love them, and I think, what did I do? I think I just Googled it, put it into Google, and then I found this woman in Denmark. I can't remember her name because it's Danish names. I have trouble with English names, let alone Danish names. And she makes she makes all those wigs, and they're extraordinary. As you can see from the pictures, they're just
unbelievable,
just insane. They're insane. And then what's wonderful about them is you need to get some. I feel.
I do. I want one. So she makes them, does she? She
makes them, and they're fitted to your head. And they're so light.
Because
they're so light. So like they just stay on your head. You can just like dance about like a nutter, and they stay on your head.
Because it's measured to your head size, so it's like
measured to your head size, and they're so light. It's just made of foam, so but it's like wearing a feather on your head.
And it just sort of clamps on, does it? Basically, it just
literally. So it's like she kind of makes a helmet, almost like a helmet.
Right.
And then it's put on, so it just fits your head. I mean, I've been whirling around because I'm, like I said, I'm kind of quite hyper and whirl about quite a lot. So I've always had problems with other ones where I've had to like put an elastic chin strap to keep it on, to keep various headdresses on. But these, no.
They're fine.
They just go on.
And they keep, and because you try, so they put it. And how many have you got of these foam wigs now?
I've got too many now. I've got, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I've got another 2 on the way. Oh my God!
Oh my Lord!
I've got an addiction. I can't stop.
You have to do a picture of Instagram. We need to see if the foam wig
You've
collection.
Got it. Oh my God! You've got to see the next one. Should oh God! I've got a problem. I'm going to be living in a ditch soon. So just surrounded by foam wigs.
I was going to say one of my questions is what your family thinks. You got a daughter, is that right? Lola, is that right?
Yes.
And how old's Lola?
She's nearly 15.
She's 15 now. Does Lola ever try on your wigs?
No, Lola's grown up with me, just pouncing about,
So
going,
she-
what do you think?
She's just that's mum, just being mum, basically.
Yeah, she sort of rolls her eyes a bit. Again, can you put this back into my tentacle, please? What?
So she's not. She's not she's obviously not. She's not phased by it at all. She's like seen it all. She grew up with it basically. So
Years of nonsense.
So, does she
Put up with.
help you out with routines or ideas? Does she take?
No, I talk to Lola quite a lot. Going,
Right.
Can you just film this? Can you just come and just take a? Can you take? I get so pictures for Instagram because I can't do selfies. So like, can you take a picture, Prince? Can you just film this? And it's like, oh Jesus Christ! Can you just do it one more time? Just one more time. No, hang on a minute. The tentacle came off. Can you do it again? And so it goes on.
Brilliant.
Until
That would be fantastic. Imagine that. Oh, this is what I did today. I had to film my mum trying to glue on another tentacle, and her foam wig came off. I mean, that's just that's something different entirely. That is funny, peculiar, and that's what I like. So it's like to. And what else? What about your rest of your family? Your mum and dad, or uncles and aunts? What do they think of Miss Strawberry Moon? Are they sort of like, oh right, that's what she likes to do?
No, but my parents, they know that I do burlesque. I've never really shown them any.
Right.
So they know it. They kind of know about it.
Yeah.
And then I just think they must know what's involved, but we just leave it there. I mean, my auntie Caroline, she's like, oh, saw that on Facebook, saw that on Instagram, so I think she's fully aware of everything.
She's fully aware. Oh right, okay. But and how do you keep? And with all the ideas going on, how do you keep your act fresh? How do you come up with the next? Well, you sound like you're trying to top everything. You think, well, now you've got your octopus routine. Where do you get your ideas from? Where do you?
Thing is, the trouble is with me, I have no time but so many ideas.
Yes.
And I have so many ideas. There's so many costumes. I just think, right, how many? And my poor brain feels like it's going to explode sometimes. Then I spend all of my life thinking, how am I going to make that funny? I want to make that'd be funny if I did that. And yeah, all sorts.
So,
I mean, it's just there's a whole line of things. And then
go on. Sorry.
Yeah, so you think it's like with all these things, you think, oh yeah, it's going to be straightforward. So always the initial idea, there's always some kind of problem. And the other thing that I realise is what's so clear in my head is not necessarily clear to an audience.
Yes, suddenly, yes. Right. So have you had that then? You've turned up with a costume or act, and then halfway through, it's like, they're not getting this, or it's just...
The Pope was like that. The Pope was very problematic.
Right. At the start.
Initially with the Pope, I thought, but again, it didn't make sense. Looking back, I was thinking, no, that doesn't make sense at all. So initially I was thinking, right, I'd be the Pope, and then underneath the Pope, I think it's because I was thinking Knight Rider, I'd have like I'd have like a black cat suit, which was like beautifully made, and then it comes off individually. So you undo a leg, and then you undo the other side, so one leg comes off.
Yeah.
Then you undo, and then that leg comes off, and then you're left with what looks like a swimming costume. Then that undoes, and that comes off, and that was just too complicated. And then people were just thinking, well, hang on, why are you in a cat suit?
Right.
Why is the Pope in a cat suit? So that didn't work. So then I thought, well, we'll be the air hostess, and it's just simple things that you don't think about. And again, some people just got it immediately and just went, yeah, got it, completely hilarious, loved it, got it. And then other people were going, but why is the Pope an air hostess? I don't understand why the Pope's an air hostess. And all I had to do was leave the Pope hat on, but I didn't think about that.
There you go.
That's all I had to do. Leave the Pope hat on. Problem solved.
But it's these happy accidents, and you only find out through gigging and performing that.
Yeah, this is it.
This is it. You have to go through. And how? And is this obviously this is full time for you? So you're like, how often does Miss Strawberry Moon per week, per month? How many performances are you doing?
It really varies because I want to do more. I just want to be able to do more, but I have such little time because I've just got to pay the rent, pay the bill. So my normal working life is like just dreadful.
You just have so you do you have a bit of a 9 to 5 or a day job or something like that.
Yeah, well, as I do. So
I'm
working on doing less.
So you'd love to do this full time, obviously.
I'd absolutely love to do it because it brings me a lot of joy.
I think absolutely, and I'm so glad we've chatted and I've got you on the show because your costumes are amazing. I love the fact you do the comedy because I've not seen comedic burlesque, and I've seen lots and lots of normal burlesque, so it's great to see. So I'm definitely coming. I've got to come and see this Pope one. The fact you mixed the Pope with Knight Rider, that has made my day. That is already for me like, yeah, I'm on your wavelength. I know where you're going with this. So
Pope, we've got Knight Rider. Let's go.
So where do you do? So you live in and around London, is that right? So you just do. Where do you tend to gig in and around London and?
In and around London. I did Antwerp actually in December, which was very exciting. So that was weird because that was this was at the tattoo convention where everything flew off.
So it was in Antwerp you did this?
So this is so weird. How weird is this? Because while I was at the tattoo convention, I did the Pope thing, and little did I realise there's a producer in Antwerp who was also performing, and she came up to me afterwards going, How did you know about Sinterklaas? And I was going, who's Sinterklaas?
Sinterklaas.
Sinterklaas.
Right.
So she was going, I have to show you one, believe it. I have to show you. So then she was getting me out these pictures. So Sinterklaas is like I think it's Dutch. There's another country that does it. She's, Belgium. Is it Belgium and Dutch? Maybe another country. So it's like their version of Santa Claus, but the costume is the Pope, exactly my costume.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
Right.
And she was saying, I can't believe it, because in the Pope I stripped down to kind of tassel pants with the blues, orange. Yeah. And she said they're Dutch colours. She said, this is so Dutch. Your act is just all Dutch. And then we were saying even... because it's the Wenger boys going to Barbados. Obviously, they do going to. And she said, it's Dutch, it's so Dutch. So she was saying, you've got to come to Antwerp. Do it. So I did.
So you did. So off the tattoo convention, which was where was the tattoo convention? That was in England, was it?
Yeah, that was in London, yeah.
And then she saw you. She said, you've got to come to Antwerp. So you went to Antwerp, did you?
So I went to Antwerp
and
with the Pope. Although it wasn't Pope, it was Sinterklaas.
Sinterklaas. So they're like, we've got these crazy English ladies going to come over and do our national Christmas patriarch.
Yeah, it was great. They loved it. I got a standing ovation. It was marvellous.
So this was part of a burlesque convention, a comedy night. What was the show?
She puts on various shows. So she always puts on like amazing shows. So I think because it was around Christmas time and December, she was like, yeah, come along, and do it. I was like, yeah, I'm there with bells on.
Fantastic. And then you did it. And how long does that? It's about 5 minutes it lasts, this particular one?
Yeah, literally about 5 minutes.
And did you do the fire nipple tassels and everything?
I did the fire nipple tassels.
They had the licence. Brilliant.
Had the licence, that was great. Although I did have a few false starts with the fire.
What happened?
Because I got on stage and I was revving the audience up to go, yeah, I'm revving them all up, getting them really excited. Then I realised I'd actually got the lighter. And I was like, oh no. So I was quickly kind of gesturing to the side of the stage, going, lighter, I've got a lighter. And then someone came running and gave me the lighter, and then I lit them, and then they went out.
But how wonderfully refreshing if ever a girl was to come up to me and say, excuse me, have you got a light for one of my nipple tassels rather than it be a cigarette? And I go, yes, I have. I think that's progressive, if you don't mind. So
yes, I have. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
yes.
That's brilliant. So this was the roof must have come off here that you were doing. They must have loved you.
They absolutely loved it, and I think when things go wrong as well, it's quite like. So when they eventually went up, it was like yes,
but man, when things go right, so this is probably the best. Would this be your best performance ever? Do you think? Is this the one where you're like, yes? It was brilliant. I was so excited. That was just like And how did that feel coming from your very first performance when you were in this cocoon ball and the music wasn't happening? You were sheer with fear, you were terrified, to this point where you were like, there's standing ovations. They love you. How did that feel?
It was just great. It just made me think, do you know what? Everybody, however hard stuff is, just keep going. Just keep going, because I think it's quite easy to kind of give up and just go, oh no. And I have a constant self-doubt where you just think, am I a bit rubbish now? Is it a bit rubbish?
But it stalks everybody, it is. You just have to. So how do you get yourself? Do you just think, I'll get another foam wig, I'll put a foam wig on, or do you get Barry and just?
I'm going to get Barry. I'm going to put a foam wig on Barry. I'm going to put a matching one on me, and we're going to dance. That's what we're going to do. We can dance the night away.
I'll tell you what would be great, let's see if we can convince you to do this. Can you put a foam wig on Barry, a foam wig on you, and take a picture, a selfie, and pop it on Instagram? And I'll even add the Funny Peculiar logo to it. How about that?
Oh, that would be great.
Wouldn't that be
where have
great?
I put Barry? Barry's face down somewhere at the moment.
Yeah, if you do it later, and then for anybody, and then I'll put it on my Instagram account. Nobody will have a clue what's going on, but I'll say make sure you listen to this episode because then you'll get it. So it's like, but listen, this has been, man. I think there's more to come from Miss Strawberry Moon. Miss Strawberry Moon is who do you think I should have on the podcast? Who do you think I should interview for a future episode?
Eileen both ways.
Now I've been in touch with Eileen, and I have, and she's gonna. I've booked her in to interview her next week. So I love Eileen because
she's fantastic. How does that woman do her makeup? I don't understand.
It's incredible. Well, she was in the semi-final with me for Drag Idol.
Oh, was she?
Yes,
was she?
And I got to see her, and her makeup is stunning, and it is just wonderful. So listen, I will now. You're her recommendation, basically. So I will say to her, Eileen. She's wonderful, and it's incredible makeup as well, isn't it?
It's insane. It makes me want to cry about it because I just think, why can't I do that?
So it is. She just takes it to another level with makeup. Brilliant. Well, I'm going to have Eileen on as your recommendation. So there we go. So
I'm very pleased.
That's excellent. That's wonderful. Listen, thank you very much for coming on the show today. And,
thank you.
And I look forward to seeing you soon as the Lady Pope.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen with Knight Rider. I can't wait. Right, lovely. Thank you very much, Miss Strawberry Moon.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
You've been listening to Funny Peculiar. Tune in next week. More great guests.